Hey you guys, this is Jaden Pictures here with yet another ranking list video. And this one is about the Despicable Me franchise. Yep. Despicable Me, Despicable Me, Despicable Me. Yeah, Despicable Me. Yeah, I grew up with this, I grew up with this movie series. I remember I really loved this movie series as a little kid. And I really enjoyed it, and I grew up with Despicable Me, similar to how I grew up with Shrek, with other animated kids movies like Shrek, Toy Story, and Megamind. Yeah, and I like Despicable Me. I mean, sure, like I'm not that big of a fan of too many Illumination movies out there, but like at least two of the movies in the Despicable Me franchise, along with that Grinch movie that Illumination came out with a few years ago, are all Illumination animated movies that I actually really like. So, yeah, guys, in this video, this is yet another ranking video. And in this video, I will be ranking. In this video, I will be ranking the 3 Despicable Me movies. You know, Despicable Me movies 1 through 3, and along with the first Minions movie, I'll be ranking all 4 of those from worst to best. And just so you guys know, yes, I do know that Minions: The Rise of Gru exists, and no, this video was not recorded before that movie came out or anything like that. No, yes, I do know that Minions: The Rise of Gru exists, and yes, I could watch that movie before I make this list and, add that into the rankings too. But, okay, call me lazy, but I really don't feel like watching the Minions: The Rise of Gru. I really don't feel like doing that for this list. I'm sorry. You can call that lazy, but hey, this is my list. I can do what I want with my list and all that. So, yeah, with all that being said, here's my ranking of Despicable Me movies 1 through 3, and the first Minions movie. Yeah, keep in mind that my opinion has changed a lot, so this list might not be permanent. And also, please note that please keep in mind that there will be some spoilers. So, spoiler alert. And yeah, all that stuff out of the way. Let me start this list. Number 4, Minions. Okay. I have gone back and forth with the first Minions movie. I went from liking it. I went from liking it. And I remember it being the last movie I saw in theaters in my summer vacation of 2015. Yeah, I went from liking it to hating it. But now looking back, I don't think this movie's that bad. I'm sure maybe it's still not that great. Maybe not as good as it was when I was a little kid. But I don't think it's that bad either. Although I probably wouldn't consider any of the characters in this movie to be great, with the exceptions being the villains. Like, I really like Scarlet Overkill. Scarlet Overkill was a pretty funny villain. Like, I love that scene where she finds out about, I think Bob, that Minion Bob being king or whatever, and she gets all ticked off about it, and she calls him a tiny yellow traitor and starts raging. I laughed pretty hard watching that scene in the theaters. Yeah, that was funny, and, that dude, Herb, or whatever the heck his name is, he was pretty funny too, but he definitely wasn't as good as Scarlet Overkill. Yeah, and I really liked Gru's appearance at the end. That was probably my favorite part of the movie. Though I don't think Gru gets enough screen time to actually be considered a great character in this film itself. The Minions themselves were good. I do enjoy the Minions from this franchise, but not as much as like the human characters of this franchise, or at least like the adult characters of this franchise, like Gru or Lucy or Drew or Balthazar Brat. But Minions, it's a good watch. I wouldn't exactly say it's a must-see, but it's a good, decent spin-off, and yeah, it's number 4 on this list. Okay, number 3 is Despicable Me 3. Now, yes, guys, this list might go backwards from here. Yeah, Despicable Me 3, I saw this in theaters, like, the day it came out, I think. Or was it the day after it came out? I think it was the day. I'm pretty sure it was the day it came out. June 30th, 2017. Yeah, during summer vacation of 2017. And yeah, I liked it in the theaters. And yeah, I liked it in the theaters, although there's only a few characters in this movie that I consider to be great. Like Balthazar Brat. I thought Balthazar Brat was a pretty funny villain. I think I really like all the villains in the Despicable Me franchise, to be honest. But yeah, Balthazar Brat was pretty funny. And Gru and Drew. Oh my gosh, I love the duo between Gru and Drew in this film. I think Gru and Drew make an awesome duo in this movie. They were pretty fun. I had a blast watching them in the theaters. It was so cool. And I've gone back to like YouTube clips of Gru and Drew in this movie. Yeah, and I remember going back to YouTube clips of Gru and Drew in this movie like shortly after, like months after this movie was released in theaters. Oh my gosh, I love the interactions between Gru and Drew, the awesomely brotherly duo between Gru and Drew. Love that. But yeah, apart from them and Balthazar Brat, pretty much everyone else was okay. Like Lucy, I thought Lucy was good in this movie, but I didn't think she was as good or as funny as she was in the previous two movies. And yeah, the three girls, Margot, Edith, and Agnes, they were okay. I mean, like, I thought Agnes's attempt to find a unicorn, I thought that subplot was okay, but not that great. Same thing with Margot and that kid who gave her the cheese. Yeah, Despicable Me 3. But yeah, Despicable Me 3 is a good film, but if this movie's worth rewatching for like any reason, it had to be Gru and Drew. Gru and Drew were an awesome duo, and I've heard about them making a Despicable Me 4. I've heard about Illumination making a Despicable Me 4 in the future. Yeah, if they do that, I would want to watch it to get more stuff between Gru and Drew, because I love the duo between Gru and Drew. I was smiling so hard watching their interactions in the theaters. And yeah, I also thought that what was his name? Fritz, yeah, that old skinny dude, Fritz, yeah. He made a pretty good slapstick character, but he was only in like 2 or 3 scenes. So yeah, like little Gru from the first Minions movie, I don't think he gets enough screen time to be a great character either. But he was still good though. But yeah, this movie wasn't bad. It was good, especially for Gru and Drew. But yeah, it was okay. It's not as good as the other two movies, the first two movies in the franchise, in my opinion. Well, it makes sense. I have it at number 3 on this list. I have it ranked below those movies. But yeah, I don't really have too many negatives with it. Although it did feel pretty rushed, and it didn't really feel like it had the same heart as the first two movies. But I still thought it was good though, mainly because of Gru and Drew. Yeah. So overall, a good movie. Maybe not a great one, but I think Gru and Drew at least almost make it great. All right, now. Number 2, Despicable Me 2. Oh man, I remember. Okay. As I said in my Everything Wrong with Brooke shows Let's Fail Despicable Me 2 video, I saw this movie twice in movie theaters. Yeah, and they were both during my summer vacation of 2013 too. Yep, that was the same summer this movie came out. Yeah, I saw this movie twice in theaters. Yeah, and I really liked it. I thought it was really funny. I thought it was pretty funny, and I really liked this movie. Like, I really liked El Macho. El Macho was a great villain, and his chicken was pretty funny. And and I liked Lucy. Lucy in Despicable Me 3, I'd probably say is garbage compared to Lucy in this movie. Lucy in this movie was funnier. She was more entertaining, and yeah, it was really good. She was a really good character in this movie. She made a really good comedic relief character in this movie, and the relationship between her and Gru was really interesting. And probably my favorite scene in this movie would be the scene, which still to this day be the scene where Gru and Lucy sneak into the Salsa and Salsa restaurant. I love that scene. Oh my gosh, I love that scene. That scene is so fun. It's so entertaining. It's such a great scene. And if that's not my favorite scene, then I guess I'd probably say that one scene where Gru goes through the passcode thing and gets sabotaged in the process. Like, you know, his chip hat gets messed up and he has arrows or darts or whatever being put at him, and he gets put on fire. That seems pretty funny. Yeah. Yeah, and by the way, my brother Jacob, one time, he did a rant on the Despicable Me franchise, and he said the first one's the only good one, and he said most of the characters in the Despicable Me franchise suck, and he said that scene from Despicable Me 2, you know, that passcode scene with Gru is the only good scene in the movie. Well, yeah, I have really disagreed with that, him being on, you know, how he thinks it's the only good scene in the movie, but it's definitely... but I definitely agree that's among the best scenes in the movie. That scene's awesome. Gru sees El Macho successfully go through the passcode, and then when he tries it, oh man, it turns out to be so much worse for Gru. Yeah, I liked this movie. This movie, in my opinion, is at a pretty close level to the second one. I mean, the first one, not the second one. In my opinion, this movie's at a pretty close level to the first one. It's really good. It's fun. It's enjoyable. It's entertaining. It's a really good film, and it's one of the only great movies from Illumination, in my opinion. It's overall a great watch. Like, Gru is awesome as usual. Lucy was better in this movie than she was in the third movie. El Macho's a great villain, and his chicken, Clucky or whatever the heck his name was, he was pretty funny. Yeah, there were some pretty interesting subplots with Margot and that black or brown hair kid, and. I also liked the subplot with Agnes' birthday party. That was pretty funny. Oh, and Gru pretending to be a fairy princess. Oh my gosh. Love that scene where he pretends to be a fairy princess. That's hilarious. But yeah, Despicable Me 2, it was really good. one of the better Illumination films in my opinion, but it's not the best Despicable Me movie. Yeah, in my opinion, the very best Despicable Me movie is, of course, number 1, Despicable Me. Yep, of course. Should this be any surprise? Ooh, oh man, I really surprised you guys with this entry, didn't I? Oh, Despicable Me 1. The first movie at number 1. Oh, yeah. Yeah, not surprising. This shouldn't be that big of a surprise. I mean, after all, I did say that I think people might be right when they say that, usually movie series end up being at their best with the first movie. And yeah, I don't think the Despicable Me franchise is any exception, although I do think the first 2 movies are at a pretty close level to each other. But yeah, I like the first one more. I might have liked the second one more when I was little, but yeah, I think the first one's the best. It's the funniest, it's the funniest, it's the most entertaining, it's the most rewatchable. It's really good. It has my favorite Despicable Me villain in it, Vector. Vector is awesome. Vector's a great slapstick villain. And out of all of the Despicable Me villains, he's definitely the one who feels the most relatable to me. Yeah, Vector is an awesome villain, and oh my gosh, I love Vector. Vector is such a great villain. He's easily one of my favorite characters in the Despicable Me franchise. Yeah, I thought this one had the best plot writing in it. Like, I did really like the plot of the film with Gru adopting Margot, Edith, and Agnes, and then giving them up and then readopting them. Yeah, I did like how at first he was getting annoyed by Gru. He was getting annoyed by all 3 of those girls, but then when he takes them to the when he is on the amusement park trip with them, he grows to actually have fun with the girls and enjoy them and not want to make them get away from his side anymore. Yeah, and he gets saddened by the fact that Dr. Nefario. He gets saddened, when he has to give the girls up because Dr. Nefario lied to the orphanage place or whatever by saying that Gru wants to readopt the girls, and that makes them have to give up the girl Margot, Edith, and Agnes, even though he spent a good chunk of the movie, having adopted them and having them live with him. And then. But later in the movie, he was able to get the 3 girls back, and this leads to what is, in my opinion, the most emotional scene in the entire Despicable Me franchise. That nice, heartfelt scene with Gru getting the 3 girls back, and loving all those girls, them loving him back. Yeah, that's a nice and heartfelt ending. That's great character development for Gru. How he went from being this schemy jerk villain who wanted to steal the moon to this nice, caring, heroic dad who now has adopted 3 girls and takes care of them. Yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, the plot with him stealing the moon, yeah, that was a really interesting plot. Yeah, and I think this was where the Minions were at their best in this film. I didn't really talk about the Minions that much. I haven't really talked about the Minions that much in this video, have I? And they're like one of the main peaks of the franchise. Yeah, the Minions, I think the Minions are good in all the movies, but I think they were at the best in this movie. They were at their funniest with this movie. Yeah, and I like the Minions. They're definitely at their funniest with this movie. Maybe I can't exactly explain why that is, but I think they're the most funny and most entertaining in this movie. Yeah, I did really like the Minions in this movie, but I didn't like them as much as characters like Gru or Vector or Doctor. Not to mention Dr. Nefario. I didn't mention Dr. Nefario that much in this video, have I? Yeah, and he was a really good character for the first 2 movies, but he wasn't that great of a character in the 3rd movie. Not because of his personality or anything like that, no, but just because of his lack of screen time in that movie. In that movie, he was literally only in 2 scenes where he's frozen solid. Wow, that's a bit of a downgrade for a character who really played an important role in the first 2 movies. Yeah, he's a pretty funny character too. I do really love that part of the movie where he mistakes, where he mishears the stuff that. Where he misunderstands the stuff that Gru wanted. How he mistakes, how he thought Gru wanted a fart gun when he really wanted a dart gun. Yeah, and how he wanted that stuff with Gru wanting cookie robots. Yeah, those are pretty funny jokes. And overall, I don't really know what else there is to say. The Despicable Me 1, I do know what else there is to say. But let's try not to. I'm going to try not to repeat myself too much for the rest of this video here. Yeah, Despicable Me 1. It's a very strong start to the franchise. It's really good. It's really enjoyable, and I think it's among the best animated films of the last decade. It's really enjoyable. It's a fun movie. And I think it was a great start for Illumination movies. Yep, this was Illumination's first movie, And I've seen some people in comments say that it's their only good movie. You know, like the first Despicable Me movie was their only good movie. And yeah, well, I don't exactly agree with that opinion. I still at least respect it. I could still understand where these guys are coming from with that opinion, because I do agree that it is definitely their best movie, and not only the best Despicable Me movie, but definitely their best movie. And I think this one has like the most heart put into it. And, you know, it's like the most entertaining. It's the funniest. It's a really good film. Classic, and yeah, I don't think it should be any surprise that's at the #1 spot. It's at the #1 spot on this list, and I think it deserves to be. So yeah, that's about it, guys. That's my ranking of those 4 Despicable Me movies, of the 4 movies in the franchise, with the Despicable Me's 1 through 3 and the Minions movie. Yeah, how would you guys rank these movies? And if you guys want to, you guys can also tell me in the comment section down below, how would you rank these 4 movies along with that movie that came out this year called Minions: The Rise of Gru? Yeah, you guys can let me know how you would rank these movies in the comment section down below. And yeah, before this video reaches the 16-minute mark, I'm just going to end it from here. So yeah, that's about it, guys. Bye, everyone, and thank you all for watching this video.